Boom. Breaking news. What's up, guys? It's the Power Hour. We are live. We are getting rocking and rolling. Happy Hump Day Wednesday, my favorite day of the week. If you are here, it's because you want trade ideas. That's what this is. This is the trade idea segment. We keep it clipping. List of symbols that we're going to look at today, AB. The ticker F. Ford. We're going to talk about DD. We're talk about Wish. We're going to talk about Roku. And we're going to talk about mining stocks. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 trade ideas that I'm going to be dropping today. I was out yesterday. The ideas are bubbling. I've got positions on 4 of those 5 right now. So I'm going to talk through what those positions are. And there is your breaking news.
Love it. I'm looking forward to Ford's earnings today. Luke, kind of nervous. Might sell off some of my Ford stock before earnings.
All right, let's get the live brokerage account on here. Let's get the Benzinga Pro on here. Let's go. Luke with the new teeth. AB with the new haircut. Let's go. Smash the like, share the stream, show some love for producer AB's new haircut. But oh gosh, wrong screen. All right, here's the brokerage account. Here's the Ford position that we have. There's only one right now. Average price that we're in this thing from, we bought it right at the beginning of the year. This was our 2021 stock pick of the year. $8.41. Stock's at $13.74 right now, but we are still way off of the highs. Let's take a peek, producer AB. So check it out. Highs, we got up to 16 plus for like a quarter of a day. Slow trickle of death. Then since then, market has been going to all-time highs since then. Not super unexpected, right? Why did we buy Ford at the beginning of the year, producer AB? 2 reasons.
2 reasons.
What were they?
EV
and valuation was fair, right? When we bought the stock at $8.41 as our average price. And so valuation starts to come out. The EV story slowed down. We probably should have gotten out of the stock. We didn't. Let's talk a little bit about how we're going to manage the trade today. And what I want to do for this, guys, we're just going straight into the first trade idea. All right. What I want to do, let's load up the Ford option chain. I want to see how expensive these calls are, because we might sell some calls against the stock position. The thoughts on that, AB?
So essentially, by doing that, you're hedging your existing position.
Exactly. Well. So there's 2 things that happen. Okay. So when you sell calls against the stock, and you own the underlying stock, you collect the premium right away, so it lowers your cost basis. And then the risk that you're taking on is you might have to sell your stock for some higher price in the future. Okay.
Got it.
Make sense, AB?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
All right. So Ford's at 1373 right now. Is Ford going to get up to 1450 within the next 9 days? It's possible. Within the next 2 days, I think almost no way.
So with this trade, give me both. All right. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the chat. This is not, I don't.
Keep going. Come on. This is the trade idea show, AB. This is the Power Hour with Ben Shapiro and Luke Jacobi.
All right.
Luke,
I want you to know.
Ford earnings are today.
Right now, we have Ford earnings coming up. And if you sell covered calls and the stock goes up, what does that mean for us?
All right, we're selling calls 2 days out. We're going to hit 5 contracts, cover our outstanding stock position. We're going to do the 1450 strike. This is not a get-rich trade, okay? This trade is only putting about $100 into our pockets, but it's a trade that you can make every single week. All right. Again, it's not a trade that's getting us rich. It's a trade you can do every single week. The only downside is that we might have to sell our Ford for $14.50 and the stock's at $13.73 right now. We'd have to get to that $14.50 within the next 2 days. And for that reason, that's why I'm going to go ahead and not buy. We need to sell these.
So by selling these options, we are going to raise capital in our portfolio. And with that capital, we can either buy more of the stock after earnings if we decide to, or we can use that capital.
Yes. The whole show we're doing that. This is Power Hour with Ben Shapiro and Luke Jacobi, guys. Stocks don't care about your feelings.
Stocks do not care about your feelings. We will not buy in.
All right. Never mind. All right. So there's the first trade of the day. You're going on that one, guys. This is the Power Hour. This is the Idea Show. We own Ford stock. We have earnings today after the close. We are selling calls against the stock. It's not a get rich trade. It lowers our cost basis. It's a low risk trade. We'll see what happens. And guys, if you like producer AB's Ben Shapiro voice, drop the one in the chat because I might have a surprise for producer AB.
I like surprises, Luke.
We got to see the ones come. I don't know if they might think it's a shitty impression. If it's a shitty impression, we're not getting any surprises today. Let's see. Oh no, you're not racking up any ones. Are we racking up the likes at least today, producer AB, or what's the deal?
Please smash that like. You should see a gray thumb below the YouTube video. We need to turn that thumb blue. And once we turn that thumb blue, we might see a surprise.
All right, guys. Producer AB's surprise. We did this for him last Friday. He was out. Shout out Celsius. I got my can right here. Still don't sponsor the show. There's only 250 people here. I wouldn't sponsor it either. Let's be real. But let's look at ticker WISH, WISH, Whiskey India, Sandy Hotel. This is our favorite online crack pipe reseller. If you guys have not done yourself the favor of browsing through wish.com and seeing all of the cheap wares that they offer, you owe it to yourself. Take some time for you today. Wake up, choose violence. I mean, that's basically what you do when you're going to wish.com. And on the Power Hour, we believe in doing due diligence for our viewers, for Zinger Nation out there. So what do we do on Friday? We cracked open the Luke Jacobi bank account and we ordered producer AB some wares from wish.com so we can check, one, that we're actually going to get the goods. Two, that the goods are of high quality, which I would expect. These are all like sub $2 purchases. And three, we ran a chat challenge to guess what date we're going to be getting this at. So producer AB, are you ready to see what we purchased for you on wish.com?
Yes, sir, Luke. I'm excited to look at what we purchased off wish.com.
All right. First purchase for producer AB. We have this 18 karat gold Donald Trump ring that cost us less than $2. We ordered this last Friday. Estimated delivery date, August 3rd through August 29th. So we ordered this on the 23rd of July, and we have a 1 month window that this will arrive. Is your ring size 9?
Yes, sir, Luke, it is.
All right. And you ready for gift number 2 that we got you, producer AB? This is very fitting with the Ben Shapiro today.
Yeah, so I was gonna say the Donald Trump ring fits. Let's see what the next one is.
Order number 2 for producer AB. We're not picking sides here.
You've got mail.
Barack Obama gold ring. Purchase on wish.com, guys. That is ticker WISH. Barack Obama ring, I will say, has a tighter delivery window than the Donald Trump ring. The Barack Obama ring, we're looking at an August 3rd through August 14th delivery date versus an August 3rd to August 29th delivery date on the Donald Trump ring.
Yeah, Luke, I love it. I can wear one on each hand, a Donald Trump ring on one hand, a Barack Obama ring on the other. I love it. So we have an estimated delivery date of August 3rd. We want to hear your guesses in the chat. When are these rings actually going to come? They could come sooner. They could come later.
No. Producer AB, you missed some stuff when you were out.
Oh, we already did the chat challenge on when they'll come.
We already did. I'm looking for it right now. All right. Let's see. We got to do some sorting here. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. And while I'm looking for this, producer AB, I mean, how are you feeling about your Wish purchases? Could we have picked anything better for you? Let me ask that.
No, I think it's perfect. I think ring size, one is a 9, one is a 10. So I might put the Trump one on like my pinky or smaller finger, and then maybe the Obama goes on one of my bigger one of my.
Okay, so here it is. This is our chat challenge, guys. Everybody in the chat, and if you're just joining us, we're talking about ticker WISH. That's wish.com, our favorite online reseller of crack pipes. We did a channel check. I cracked open my PayPal account, spent $4 on producer AB, buying him an 18 karat gold Donald Trump ring and an 18 karat gold Barack Obama ring. We asked Zinger Nation to guess what date the ring would arrive. The quickest anybody said it would get here was the August 9th, 2021. The latest, August 9th, 2025. Average is screwed up. Okay. We'll go with the median. The median arrival date was August 27th, 2021. Okay, so our median estimate is right smack dab in the middle of those delivery windows. Producer AB, when these get here, will you promise to wear them for a week straight? We need to do a test as to whether or not a finger will fall off.
Yes, sir. I promise to wear them for a week straight.
Yeah, my mom hasn't taught me a lot, but she did say when you get a $2 ring, be careful. You could lose a finger.
Love it. All right, let's get back to some stock ideas. Should we check out Wish real quick? Let's look at the chart. What has Wish been doing this past week?
We're getting a little bit of life. We're getting a couple signs of life. We're running back into these highs. Again, I don't see any reason to own this stock. It's massively cash flow negative. Margins are super thin. It's not very interesting to me. And so from both like a story standpoint and just the hardcore fundamental standpoint, I don't think that wish.com, ticker WISH, is interesting at all. That said, our customer experience could potentially change things.
100%. I mean, I agree that I don't necessarily love the stock as an investment, but like any other asset or commodity, it could get to a price where it makes it interesting as a trade. So when I saw it fall down to this, $9 flat level, I thought, hey,
did you hit it?
It could bounce a little bit. I didn't actually hit it, but I said it live on YouTube. You can find it out there on the YouTube verse, me talking about it, where I said, hey, this could be a good trade right here. And it did bounce from there, but I personally did not get into it.
All right. Happy Muhammad in the chat just said support.com is blasting off. Let's take a look. Here's a 5-day chart. Here's the daily candles. Is it time to start shorting this thing again? The answer is probably yes.
Give me the bear thesis on this again.
It's a bullshit stock.
Oh, this is one of the companies that tried to make themselves look like an NFT play back in the day?
A crypto play, yeah.
Crypto play.
It's basically support.com. If you go to their website, you'll see. I mean, let's do it. We're doing channel checks today. Support.com. Let's pull up the site. Right, the world's home sourcing leader for customer support. Totally fine business, right? You customer support services. You go to support.com. You pay them some sort of a fee. You collect revenue. All of a sudden, support.com comes out and says, boom, we are now a crypto play. The stock goes from $2 to $9. We shorted the shit out of it, if you recall, producer AB, and made a ton of cash on it. It's reaching those all-time highs again. Shout out Happy Mohammed for bringing that one up and having an eye on it. I don't see a recent PR on this name. So here's what I'm going to do. Instead of just taking a crack at the stock out of the blue, I'm going to put it on the list, SPRT. This is a tomorrow ticker, Sandy Papa, Romeo Tango. Tomorrow, I might go on a support.com rant, and we might make a live trade on it, just like we made that Ford trade.
Boom! I love it. Not only are you getting trade ideas on this show, but you are also getting live trades from Mr. Luke Jacobi himself.
We made 3 on Friday without you, and I see somebody talking about China and Chinese stocks in the chat, so let's just hop to the live trade that we made on Didi, Uber of China. We hit this one. We finally did it, producer AB. It got cheap enough. Do you want to see how we're faring?
Boom!
And then let's talk through the trade.
I love it. Oh, wow. 42% up on those calls already. We're looking at
That's
$10.
today. That's
$10.
today.
Oh,
Unrealized. Look at this. Unrealized, producer AB. That's your 51% right there. Boom. All right.
boom!
Go back and watch the tape on this one, okay? When I said I was getting long the Chinese stocks when they were all getting killed on the regulation, they were getting smoked on the regulation for the tech space, the EDU stocks. That's what it was. All right, all the Chinese education stocks getting killed down 80%. I said I was going long China. I said I made the live trade. We bought the calls on the show. Brad Weber in the chat. Trading Grounds, the only supporter of the trade. Everybody else, absolute hater on this one. And look at that. 3 days, 51%. Feeling pretty damn good about it. So I'm going to flip this one back to the chat. If you guys like the Chinese names, you like the bottom picking on the Chinese names right now, drop me a 1. If not, drop me the 2. So here was the trade on Didi, okay? Shares of Didi got smoked. They got smoked out of the IPO because they had their fight with the Chinese government. And then they got smoked on the subsequent or the last 2 days of last week, that Thursday and Friday, because there was reports that China was going to come out and put regulation on the learning stocks. The for-profit educational institutes would have to go nonprofit. That did happen. If you own these Chinese education stocks, you're still screwed. Let's look at ticker TAL. Right. I mean, it's an ugly chart. Okay. Didi, which is Uber of China, got swept up like that. Didi, I like it, but it has 500 million users, 500 million active users. It's like Uber and Lyft, but imagine that there's no Lyft, there's only Uber. That's your Didi. Stock was so beaten down. The multiples have gotten so cheap. That's why I said I'm going to take a crack on it. That said, I did it with calls. I did not buy the stock. I did it with calls to preserve capital because it is a risky trade. We said that this is a risky trade. It's a little bit of a YOLO trade. And so live on the show, we bought the $10 September calls. Okay, $10 strike, dated in September. That's what we went out and we bought. And again, our average price on those is 90 cents. We're up 51% since putting that trade on. The trend is your friend. When we have momentum, let's go ahead and let's let it ride. So I am hanging out with my DD calls. I have all the way to September. I mean, if this stock were to get back to like a $13 range, we're looking really good. I gave myself a long period of time on this because, again, 500 million users, Uber versus Lyft, but imagine there's no Lyft. China gets shaken out for the next month or two. It still gives me time in the trade. That's why I dated it so far out. That's the trade on Didi. That was first one of 3 that we hit. I see that a lot of people are still hating on the Chinese stocks. I'm not getting into any of them right now. I'm long this one with calls, and I walked you through why. I'm not buying the space as a whole. So boom, there it is. Everybody was a hater on that trade. I never got more hate for a trade in my fucking life, basically.
Yeah, and I've seen the chat pretty mixed. I mean, some people are saying that they want to stay away from all the Chinese stocks. I see Calm Me Now is saying that they are long Baba, Neo, Bowen. So, I mean, I don't know, Luke. I think when there's a lot of fear surrounding some of these companies like in China right now, that it actually makes for an interesting buying opportunity. I mean, I think Baba is still super cheap right now at under $200. Obviously, there's a big risk there about what the Chinese government could do with potential companies. But I think we could easily be looking back a year from now and saying, wow, we could have grabbed Baba at, under $200.
Somebody's saying BT in the chat over and over. So let's look at that. Who we give the shout out to? Christopher Allen. I don't know this one. It's a crypto stock. That's a crypto stock, right? Crypto market's hot. Bitcoin's at 40K.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. Look at that chart before this bounce, though. Just straight downtrend into a nice little bounce.
Circle of death. Their Voyager Digital's looking better today. All right. I made an Olympics play, AB. On Friday, we did a lot of shit when you were out Friday. It was me and Spencer. It was a fun power hour. You know how I am on Fridays. You guys got like on on Friday, I'm like dead. I stay up late all night, and Fridays is like my goofy day. And that's why we just made 3 YOLO trades on Friday and bought the rings on wish.com. Maybe that's what you missed.
I love it. I the only reason I left on Friday is because I was under the impression we weren't doing a show, and the next thing I know, the show's going on without me. So I was a little.
This
sad.
bozo over here.
All right, we made an Olympic swing trade, ticker ROKU. Roku. We went ahead and we bought shares of Roku on a swing trade on Friday. Let's go ahead and grab the average price that we got into that trade with.
I'm also seeing in the chat that Duolingo is live, the IPO today, ticker DUOL. So after Roku, let's go over to Duolingo and check that out.
All right, so here's Roku. Our average price in the stock was $457. The price right now, $473. So we are up 3.5% on our trade, right? That 3.5% number, that's our unrealized gain on Roku. Not great, for a swing trade. My thesis didn't pan out. And so for that reason, I'm looking to close that one. We'll call it even, call it a day. Basically, the thesis on Roku was that they are an Olympic streaming play. They're a streaming provider for the Olympics. The idea was analyst notes, the world, etc., would realize over last weekend, that's when the Olympics were getting kicking off, that Roku was a play for the Olympics. We'd get a really nice Monday pop and ride the stock up for the week. It hasn't happened again. We're calling it pretty much flat. We're plus 3.5%. And so with that, producer AB, I am going to close this one out.
Yeah, I think that'd be wise, Luke. I mean, I don't think
the on margin too. That's part of what goes into my decision.
Okay, so that's important. So some of these trades where if it was a cash position, then we might be more willing to let them ride, but because it's on margin, might be smart to cut some of that. But yeah, I don't think the numbers have been too great for as far as viewership. I know at least for the opening ceremony, only about 19 million people tuned in, which was like the lowest in the past 8 Olympics or something. And I think part of that has to do with no fans. It's not as exciting to watch with no fans. But Daily Donkey, Salty Dabs, love the name. Don't know what it means, but love the name. Saying Team USA killed the enthusiasm of watching it. So, I don't know. I don't think that there are going to be very many Olympic plays to be had in the stock market this year.
Yep. So trade is closed. We'll take our 3% and run, whatever. Had an idea, didn't pan out. The other stock, guess what the other stock is that we bought on the show, producer AB?
Let's see. Not Didi, not Ford. Teladoc. Oh, Genius Brands. There we go.
We started it. We started the position. Average price $1.62, $1.63 right now. We're sitting flat in it. We're letting this one ride. If you guys want to talk more Genius Brands, why I bought the stock, give me a like on the stream. Give me a 1 in the chat. But boom, producer AB, can we not say this is a trade idea show? On this show, we've already been through 5 ideas, 5 live trades that we're making. We talked through them. So just to recap, Ford, we're selling calls against our Ford stock position into earnings today. If we get stopped out of Ford, great, fine. Take the money and run. Number 2, Didi. We are letting Didi ride long. We bought the $10 strike September calls last Friday. We're doing really well on the trade. It's the best new trade that we've put on. Nice 50% 3-day move for the calls. Wish.com, we are sitting on the sidelines. And then Roku, we tried to take a swing trade at Roku. We don't have a reason to own it. We saw the stock get stopped at its all-time highs again. Look at all these highs, AB. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Didn't get it. Didn't get the Olympics pop. And so we are giving it a go.
Yeah,
Boom.
that's just hitting that resistance
I'll be
line up there
back.
at about 575. Kind of a psychological level too. Like, when will Roku hit $500? I think it will, but it's a little expensive for me right now, so I could see it trading down in the short term. But if you like Roku long term, then I don't mind kind of buying it, knowing that it could go down a little bit. But if you hold on to it long enough, that it can recoup those losses.
And here's my thing. Look for that all-time high. If the stock can break the all-time high, that's when I would take the next crack on it. I don't want to just sit here for the next 5 days, be thinking about it to see the stock go up $5, which is basically 1%, and just to get rejected at those all-time highs again.
Yep, I hear you. I agree 100%.
And then let's do a quick Apple check. Nope, not making it. I thought Apple might battle its way back green during the show. Doesn't look like it's going to happen.
I thought so too. I mean, the company reported great earnings yesterday, but I think Apple is just one of those things that so many people, so many traders out there already own it, that really the only thing to do is sell. I mean, like, who out there is going to go buy Apple right now after those great earnings? I think we'll have to wait a couple of weeks, see if it drops down, maybe back to that 135 level.
Guess what my average price on Apple is? This is probably the one stock that I've held the longest in this account. And I've had this account. I opened it in 2015. All right. I mean, that gives you the answer if I say when I opened it. 2015.
$30.
Oh, shit. It might not actually be in this account. Where's my position at?
Well, has Apple had a split since you bought it and now?
Look at this. Hot news. Benzinga on Interactive Brokers.
Trust me.
You like that?
I love that.
Boom. Awesome.
Beautiful.
Wait. Help improve hot news. Show more like this, please.
Yes. If you guys have Interactive Brokers, go to Apple, go to Hot News, click help improve, click see more news like this.
I'm curious what brokerages everybody uses. You see me looking at my Interactive Brokers account every day. Drop what brokerage you use into the chat. I want to see where everybody's at. But my average price AB on Apple is somewhere around, God, it's split adjusted. I don't know, like $40 or something like that.
All right. I guess
It's an old
30,
long
so
holding.
pretty close. All right. So we're seeing some TD, some Fidelity.
IB, some Schwab. All right, CA, for the Schwab that you use, what platform do you use? Are you using mobile app? Are you using Street Smart Edge? Are you using web? I'm curious which platform a lot of the Schwab people all use. And I want to ask one more, AB. I'm just on an asking tear, okay?
I love it. Oh, and no problem, Mumtaz. Mumtaz is the same. We called the top on the 15th for Apple. I sold most of my position at 150, one of the best trades I've ever made. That's why you guys have to tune in. This is the Trade Idea Show.
Who called it? Wait, who called it? That's what I want to know.
Let's be real, Luke. It was probably me.
It was probably you. God, look at that.
All right, what were you going to go to, though?
All right, I was going to go to, of the trades that we made today, it was Ford, DD, and Roku. So Ford short, Roku short, DD long. Drop in which ticker of those you guys would hit. If you had to hit one of those three, those are the three trades I've got on right now. Ford short, Roku short, DD long. Which way would you hit it? Ford earnings today, the numbers are going to be bad, man. That said, they did guide that the numbers are going to be bad. The only sliver of hope that we have is either the Bronco just freaking crushed it, and we've got massive Bronco numbers out of Ford, or two, that they guide really strong for Q3. There is no hope that we could possibly have for the Q2 numbers today.
Okay. I mean, look, maybe this will be a good buying opportunity for Ford then if the stock drops a couple dollars. Maybe not a couple dollars. I could see a little, maybe $1 and a half drop to around the $11.50, $12 range.
I mean, it's not going that low.
Where do you think it's going to?
I want it to go to 1440. Because that means that my stock went well and my options did well. That means I won on both.
Raz in the chat is saying
the trade that we made today is we sold the 1450 calls on Ford. We sold out of the Roku position. We're letting the DD trade ride.
Raz in the chat is saying that Ford will guide very strong. So who knows? Maybe we'll see the stock go up a little bit after earnings today.
All right, that's the hope that we have. For all of us Ford bag holders out there, that's the hope. Q2 numbers are going to be bad. They guided for them to be bad. Broncos either got to crush it or they got to guide strong as hell for Q3.
And don't forget, Luke, Ford was your 2021 stock of the year.
We're doing well in it.
Doing well.
All right, AB. I believe you have a couple of big interviews coming up. Give us the preview.
Yep. So right now at 12:30, we're going to bring on CEO of Vox Royalty, a very interesting kind of precious metals play. So we're very excited about that. And then after that at 12:45, we have a guest from Zinger Nation, Hans, coming on the show to talk about some of his trades and his experience in trading. So super excited about that. And who knows, maybe if we get enough likes on this stream that Raz will hop on with us after our first interview. So please smash the like button. You should see that little gray thumb.
Share the stream. Let's get this thing going. Let's fire it up. This is the Trade Idea Show. Producer AB, I'm going to let you take it away, okay?
Yes, sir. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get to our first interview of the day. Hey, Kyle, how's it going?
It is going very well. Excited to be with you today.
Thank you. We're excited to have you. My name is Aaron. Pleasure to have you. So real quick before we get started, can you give us just a quick background on Vox Royalty, the company, you know, what y'all do? That way our audience can just understand the company a little bit better.
Absolutely. So we're what's called a royalty company, and our main exposure is to commodities. And what we do is we essentially buy what are called third-party royalties. So if your grandfather had a ranch in Nevada that becomes prospective for a gold mine or becomes a gold mine, we would come to you and buy that interest. And what that means is we get a percentage of the revenue that mine then generates. But we don't have to operate the mine. We're not responsible for a lot of the risks, obviously, that go into mining. And so that gives investors in royalty companies a very nice distilled exposure to commodities with a lot less downside. But in most cases, just as much, even if not more upside to commodity prices, and especially in an inflationary environment like this, which is really nice.
Got it. And then before we get going any further, I see the hockey jersey in the background. Is that yours?
It is mine, and it's a little bit embarrassing. So I get a lot of questions. Everyone expects that I would have played for the New York Rangers, but from my time in the Cayman Islands, we send a street and ball hockey team to the World Championships every year. So we won a gold medal. So it's from that event. But yeah, it's always a disappointing story because people expect that I was an all-star for the New York Rangers, and unfortunately for all of us, that's not the case.
Well, I still think it's cool nonetheless. All right, so we got the background kind of on the company. We do have some news that came out today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, get this press release up on the screen. Wrong one. What was that news that came out today?
Yeah, so really pleased and excited to share with our investors in the market today that we came out with record quarter-over-quarter revenues, and we have doubled our revenue guidance for the year. And so very, very material news announcement for us, really validates the business that we've been building and growing for our investors. So really excited to be able to share that news today.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, that seems very exciting for investors. So we're looking at the revenue guidance went up over 100%. That's huge. Do you expect that growth to kind of continue throughout the next year?
Look, our portfolio is really strong. I mean, for all the investors out there, we really thrive in this type of environment where there's so much inflationary pressure. It's allowing these assets that are linked to commodity price to do really, really well. We end up having a lot of leverage to commodity price, but at a really good risk-adjusted level. So meaning we're looking for royalties where we're expecting metal prices to actually go down and make money. And when metal prices go up, that really just turbocharges the results. And that is a byproduct, and the results of that is what you're seeing in this release today. So for all the investors out there that see inflation, understand that is probably a lot less transitory than what the Fed would lead you to believe. we are a really interesting play to hedge against that and make money in that environment.
Wow. So is there anything outside of kind of the inflation right now that's driving metal prices higher?
Look, I think there's two things. I think obviously the amount of fiscal stimulus that's been pumped into the markets has a way of really, obviously devaluing the dollar. But the other thing is, the infrastructure bill continues to get tossed around. I think whether it's in the next day, week, months, or years, infrastructure is going to be a lot of the way that you see these governments that have central banks get out of really the COVID, kind of the COVID era. So if you put high inflation alongside an infrastructure bill on a global scale, those two events compounding on each other, I think are going to lead to a metal environment that the world may have never even seen before. That being said, with Vox, we don't plan on that. We plan on metal prices actually going lower, and we price the purchase of our royalties in that fashion. So you really have a nicely well-protected play with Vox, where, look, if the inflation, the super cycle hits in combination with an infrastructure bill, we are benefiting from that. And you see that with these results today. We've had exponential revenue growth over the last 4 quarters. And as we get into the years ahead, that growth should continue.
Yeah, I mean, I always think that's interesting with certain commodities. I mean, we saw a couple months ago the prices of lumber just skyrocket, and now since then they've fallen a little bit. So you can, kind of expect something similar with metals, at least in my mind, that as these different factors drive the prices up, that eventually the supply chain will figure itself out, and the prices will then fall from there.
Yeah, and absolutely. And you think about all the money that is in hydrocarbons right now. There's obviously, right or wrong, there's a big time pressure on the world to electrify and switch off of hydrocarbons and those types of natural resources. And that is being pushed all to the metals. And Vox, we've built a portfolio of royalties and continue to build a portfolio of royalties enabled by our IP and our competitive advantages that let us secure and source these opportunities for our investors at fantastic value. And you're seeing how that is playing out. It's still early days for us. Investors are finding out about us now at a very early stage in our growth life cycle. So I think we're an exciting play to be able to tap in to all the tailwinds that metals have at its back as a sector right now.
Yeah, that's really cool. And so, correct me if I'm wrong, but Vox royalty has only been trading on the OTC since about August of last year in 2020.
Correct. So we essentially RTO'd or IPO'd in Toronto in May of last year, and then we only got quoted on the OTC late last year, and so yeah, we're certainly a relatively unknown for most investors in the U.S. and really North America in general right now.
So what was that like, kind of being listed on the OTC during the COVID environment of trading?
There's so much uncertainty in the market, right? And that's always difficult on everybody. That's difficult on CEOs of companies. That's difficult on consumers. It's difficult on households and really affected everybody globally, right? So it was difficult, but I think we really used the environment to our advantage. We were able to bring in royalties at great value for different groups that needed liquidity, where we had a pretty, very stable, solid balance sheet. We're able to bring in these royalties, and to a certain degree, we're able to capitalize on some of the irrationalities that presented themselves in the market.
Yeah, I got it. I mean, that's very. So, is there any plans at some point in the future to kind of uplist from the OTC?
Yeah, certainly. So we will likely be pursuing a U.S. listing. So that would be being SEC reporting and compliant and registered. So I can't give guidance in terms of exact timeline on that, but that's certainly something that we will be aggressively working on from our side.
Got it. And so is there anything else, I mean, y'all reported great numbers as far as revenue guidance. Is there anything else that investors can kind of look forward to over the next year?
Yeah, look, I think investors can continue to look forward to what we've already delivered and that path to kind of continue on the same trajectory. We are in a really, really good environment. We have just so many competitive advantages in terms of finding these third-party royalties. Royalties have been the best way to play the commodity sector for the last decade plus that no one really knows about. And I think we're a really interesting play within that subsector. And we go about our business really trying to distill that value and bring that to the surface for our shareholders. And this was a point along the way that's really validating our business plan and our capability to be home for capital during these times, and a place that we think we're going to grow investors' capital.
Yeah, well, Kyle, congratulations on the growth. I mean, I'm excited to kind of follow this company, see what y'all are able to do. Definitely looks like an interesting investment opportunity. And is there anything else you want to leave us with before we leave today?
Yeah, excited about what's in front of us. I think most investors are certainly concerned about the inflationary environment that we find ourselves in today. I think Vox is a great starting point to do some further research, understand how we really deliver fantastic risk-adjusted returns in this type of environment, and then that's leading to the results that we saw today. So if any investors are out there that want to learn more, website obviously one of the easy places to go, voxroyalty.com, and then always happy to engage on the socials and through the Benzinga platform.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to drop that link to the website in the chat for some of our investors out there that might want to go check it out. voxroyalty.com. Got that in the chat. And thank you, Kyle, for joining us today.
Yeah, our pleasure. Good to be with you, and looking forward to what we have ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's probably a busy week for you. I know the earnings just came out. So again, can't appreciate enough the time that you take out of your day to join us.
Likewise. Thank you very much for having us.
All right, no problem. Enjoy the rest of your day, Kyle.
All right, you too.
All right, y'all. That was Vox Royalty, ticker VOXCF. Very strong numbers that came out today. Interesting company. I certainly have this one on my watch list. Let me know in the chat what you think about the company, what you think about the stock. And yeah, we're going to keep it rocking and rolling today. So we just had Duolingo go live. DUOL is the ticker. And this is one that I'm really curious about because Spencer and I were talking about this earlier. Spencer and I both have the Duolingo app downloaded on our phone, but we don't use it. So our theory, or kind of what we're anticipating, is that even though they might report great, Duolingo might report great numbers as far as how many people have the app, how many people are actually actively using the app? Because that's how they're going to be able to monetize their users. If Duolingo has all these people that have the app, but they're not using it, then there's no monetization to be had there. So definitely going to have to keep my eye on this one. I'm staying on the sideline for now, but if Duolingo gets down to a certain point, so we saw it open at about 145, it's currently trading at 138, so it's already given up some of those gains. But if we see it drop down to a certain point, then it could make for an interesting trade. All right, let's get going to our next guest. We have a guest from Zinger Nation going to join us. His name is Hans. He's got a very interesting story. So we're going to go ahead and bring him on, ask him a few questions, and drop us in the chat if you have any questions, any tickers that you'd like us to check out. What is up, Hans? How we doing?
Hey, how's it going, man? Pretty good. Thank you.
I'm good. How are you?
I can't complain. Just happy to be here.
All right. Well, we're happy to have you. So when we were first talking on email, you had a very interesting story as far as your background as a trader, how you got into it. Can you go ahead and just give that story to our audience real quick?
Yeah, I'll give you guys just kind of brief summation. It's kind of like still a story that still has a lot of chapters to be written, but I'm originally from New York. I have a background in healthcare, was a surgical assistant for about a good 7 years. And I used to kind of do more long-term investing when I initially got out with the help of some colleagues and, just getting random information over a few years passed. And I'd say about 4 years ago, I started doing, light swings, but with the nature of my job always being scrubbed in surgery, I had these things where 6 a.m., I'm up at 4, and by 6 a.m., I'm driving to work, trying to catch, some pre-market plays or things of that nature. But then I had to set up for surgeries, and then, you set them up, you run to the bathroom, see if you can execute on your plays. Safe to say that wasn't the most consistent thing at that time. And we ended up moving to Florida, and with this whole COVID craze that happened in 2020, it unfortunately kind of kicked me out of a fresh position of a job that I started where I was furloughed. And that furlough turned into a reduction of employment by August. And me being the new guy, I kind of got chopped. But that enabled me more so to take on just everyday day trading in a whole different facet, and spend about 16, 18 hours a day over the last year or so just fine tuning a system and just finding something that's super consistent for the style of trading that I like to do. And it's been a great ride, to be honest, and I'm excited. And there's a lot that I'll get to share with, people across the socials, with Twitter and everything. I have a Discord server that I started last year just because of I saw just the influx of new traders getting into all the different servers, and hundreds of thousands of people are in some of these servers. Big pros are calling out plays, and I see a lot of people that would take the losses. And what I saw initially was, it's trade your own plan, learn how to trade. But I felt that there was a need to get a more personal one-on-one relationship with the newer guys, because I relate to them so well as far as, having a passion for something and wanting to figure it out. So it's why I started my server, and it's been a good place as far as helping build foundation and just learning the lessons that can help you stay consistent. Learning how to lose is something that I promote a lot, because if you can take a small loss, it enables you to know how to take small wins and big wins as well, and maintain your capital, preservation for the long run. So, and that's, yes, sir.
That's a very interesting background. So you said you've been trading, or at least working on trading, 16 hours a day?
Just, yeah, like over the last year or so since the COVID furlough, I legit spend about 16 hours a day, whether it's learning, researching, just fine tuning my system. I have an entire trading system of my own back here with like special coding within TOS. So it's the one that I'm using now, and it's always a work in progress. I'm always trying to find ways to fine tune it, give myself better results, always looking for that extra edge, just to get things going. So I spend a lot of hours just trying to master, what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's incredible. I know that's one thing that a lot of newer traders struggle with, is finding the time to actually fine tune that process, find what works for them. And like anything else, there will always be silver linings in bad things that happen. So with COVID, one of the silver linings is a lot of people had an opportunity to really start looking at their investments, start trading more.
Yes.
And so that has been one of the, I guess, positives that's come out of this crazy thing of COVID, is that more and more people are now interested in their personal finance, what they're able to do as far as trading and investing to make their money work for them.
For sure. It's a beautiful thing. And I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, just always trying to figure out, how to get to that next step to create, financial wealth for myself. And, I started studying, the whole surgical assistant stuff back in Long Island when I was at North Shore University Hospital. But I also took a challenge then. I saw other people within my field that I only do general surgery, or I only do this, but I challenged myself. And what I decided to learn was neurosurgery and orthopedics. And over the course of 7 years, I've learned so many subspecialties that the resume speaks for itself. I can assist in almost every subspecialty of surgery aside from cardiac and complex vascular. And I just know that experience is everything. And the more you put into it, the more you get out. And it's relative with trading and anything else.
Yeah, that's some great wisdom there, Hans. So real quick, let's get to some, like what's on your watch list? Where do you go to find trades that you want to execute? I'd love to hear your process there.
Sure. So today I played TTD. I've been watching Trade Desk for like a few weeks now. I caught a very massive move on it on June 23rd or 24th. And I play a lot of options contract. I'm a momentum day trader. That's more so my style of trading. I like finding breakouts or stocks that are, have high volume potential, big gap ups. And I use a lot of technical analysis more so as far as, support resistance levels. And as I said, I have a pretty well coded system that helps me navigate things, but price action leads. As most people would know, all indicators lag. Nothing's going to be perfect science. So I follow price action, patterns, channel breaks, trend line breaks, and I let that lead. But I do have a system that also helps me find these stocks that are, every single day they're running hot. I have some custom built scanners. So, seeing BTBT and AMD this morning on my pre-market scanners always helps me every single day. And it works for me because as I said, I used to swing, and I've been up at 4 a.m. where I've done the penny stocks and I've done all of those things. But I enjoy getting some sleep, especially if I'm working up until 1 a.m., 2 a.m. It helps me to be able to just wake up at 8:30 a.m., run through my scans and my little process, focus on a few stocks that open, see which direction things take. And if something sets up, it's literally it becomes less stress. You don't have to chase anything. Everything becomes a lot clearer as far as how to execute on them. So it's a process that, like I said, I do use some scanners. I use social media to see what people are talking about. But I'm also a firm believer in less is more. So on a day like today, I traded 3 tickers, and I traded SPY at open. I traded TTD on a leg up that I saw, and which one? I played AMD. AMD on the 94 break. I saw that one in pre-market. My system has, some breakout levels, and we were hanging out right at that 94 level in pre-market. I saw the rejection that was going to happen right at open, so I waited for that. And on the reversal back across that 94 level, it was clear as day as far as the play to make on that breakout. And me being mostly an options trader at the moment, that's kind of been my niche and what works. Catching those high volume moves on the breakouts when all the stars align, you put yourself in position to catch very nice percentage returns on day trading breakouts while knowing how to minimize loss, which is why I'll always revert back to knowing how to lose, because I have a system that it's not just about, okay, here's a breakout, put all your money. It's really strategic in understanding your capital and how to size your plays properly and how to take a certain loss on every play and be okay with losing, knowing that you can revisit the play when it sets up and it's going to work for you. So,
Got it. So a couple things. Are you mainly playing these breakouts like from a long position, or do you trade on both sides? Do you short
both sides?
Okay.
No bias whatsoever. I more so just play it as I see it, and it works for me. It keeps me from, being emotional or just having to, instead of just having a feel for what I think is going to happen, I can play exactly what I see every single day, and it's been working out pretty well.
So when you are like shorting a stock, are you doing that through puts, or how are you doing that?
More so puts, yeah. I'll load up
You
on
just buy puts?
strikes, yeah. And it all depends on the nature of the move. I can see, like, let's say if SPY is just trading in a chop range, and maybe this leg can give me, a 30 to 40% win, or if there's a potential for it to maybe reject and go towards a lower target, and I'll scale out, a certain methodical way so that it keeps my position, green, that I can't lose on it, even if it was to revert back and go the other way.
So I've got TDD, the trade desk's chart pulled up. I don't know if you can see it, but I see this big green candle on June 24th. So what was it here that gave you the sign that, okay, a big breakout's coming?
So I use a couple of different indicators as far as analysis for how I find and assess plays on how they're going to run. I use the Ichimoku study. It's something that I've found to be one of my favorites as far as analysis. And I saw a price close that was over the cloud on the 1 hour. And I believe around that time, it was the first time that price had closed over that cloud on the daily time frame as well. And there's just these certain rules as far as the Ichimoku cloud system goes, that when price is over at a certain area, that these bigger trend breaks tend to happen. And it's back tested. I can go back on NVIDIA per se, when it broke 650 all-time high. We played NVIDIA from 650 all the way to 800. It just gives you more probability of higher breakout or breakdown moves happening when price is closing either above or outside the cloud on a 1 hour time frame on your Ichimoku. But there's other little factors and intricacies that go into it as well. So I focus on finding stocks that have certain metrics, and then I'll see if there's key levels or if there's like a pattern in play, and then I can gauge the move. And a lot of times it works very well. We caught Starbucks last week on the pre-ER run up the same way. I believe Starbucks was about at 120 at the time, and we added 122 calls. And legit, in a couple of days, Starbucks ran up to $126, and it's just because the setup was right. So I take those trades just because of the probability, while still keeping my risk a certain way, because you just can never predict, what the market's going to do some days. So
100%. Yeah, Hans, we might have to get you on another time to go more in depth into your system, what kind of indicators you use.
Sure.
Tony in the chat's asking a good question as far as, are you writing these scripts yourself, or do you purchase them? Where do those come about?
So it's a combination of things. There are things that I've found online. One of them I did purchase a while back, but since purchasing it, I've also recoded some things about it and added my own intricacies and little things to it. And let me give somebody a shout out. Something that I've added to my system that I was using last year, but I've added it recently, and it also helps give good reads, especially on my 10-minute time frame, is the Ripster EMA cloud strategy that he's made very popular. The EMA clouds have been around for a while, but adding that to my charts as well has helped a lot. But yeah, finding those codes, use thinkscript.com is a very good website as a resource. And I spent time just finding different things, and I've back tested so many codes, and then I would go into those codes on Thinkorswim and try to alter it to fit my liking more as far as from a day trader's perspective and what I'm trying to do. And a lot of it was trial and error, hours of back testing and just trying to get a groove for it. You take some losses playing small. If you try certain things, if it doesn't work, you scrap it, and until you find what works. And I feel very confident like today with where I'm at. So
yeah, I mean, I think that's a great lesson for any trader out there, not to be married to like one system, just be able to find different or try different things and then find what works, what sticks, and then, try to stick to that, but then don't be married to it again. Like always be open to changing in your process.
For sure. Always get better. And I always say, if you find something that works, stick with it, keep making it work, and then just add things onto it that can make it better. And if it doesn't make it better, scrap it. Maybe find something else, and then just keep on building. And over time, you'll just develop these, I feel like, different skill sets that are just, you can't teach them. You can't buy them anywhere. It's kind of invaluable kind of thing.
Yeah. Then I'm seeing some more questions in the chat about the site that has the different scripts on it. And what's the coding language?
I believe it's syntax or Python, if I'm not mistaken. That's the part where I'm not extremely, the coder savvy guy. I'm passionate about things. So I'll just literally try to read the code and see if I could figure out little things to tweak about it that can help me more so. But it's usethinkscript.com. It's a very good source of finding Thinkorswim like scripts.
I'm going to drop that link in the chat, usethinkscript.com. So if you want to check out some different indicators to put on your Thinkorswim, there it is. And yeah, we've had Ripster on the show a number of times.
Yes.
Love hearing about his EMA cloud system because yeah, he's definitely kind of popularized that.
For sure.
But yeah. So again, Hans, we might have to get you back on the show another time because we are running out of time here, but I would love to get more in depth into your system, kind of show some more traders what you're doing, how maybe you could help some other traders.
Sounds good. Yeah, I was hoping this could be, one of many interviews to come. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that. Whenever we have more time or availability, we can definitely get something going. I'd love to. I'm actually working on a total system with the scanners for, night watches, reversal watches, just different levels of breakout scanners and things of that nature. And I will in time be able to share that with everybody as well. So that's something that I'm working on in the background. But yeah, whenever there's more time, I'd love to be back on. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. We'll bring you back on. We also have another show coming up right after this right now, actually at 1 p.m. called Get Technical, where we dive, specifically all into technical analysis and stuff. So that could be a good fit to bring you on that show.
Sounds good. I'm all for it.
All right, Hans, well, enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to bringing you on next time.
Sounds good. Take care. Thank you.
No problem. All right, y'all. Very cool story there. Some good info coming from Hans. Excited to learn more from him about his system. But coming up right now, we've got Get Technical with Neil, myself. We've got a special guest today, Jake Wustajek from TrendSpider is joining us. Jake is one of the best at charting. He uses the volume analysis so we can look at charts based on that volume, try to figure out what's going to pop, what is going to be necessarily like a trade that we might want to get out of. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and head over there with Neil. If you just hang out here on the stream, it will automatically redirect you over to Get Technical. And as always, please smash the link, share the stream. And without further ado, see you over at Get Technical.